fellow female activists, and anyone who wants to save democracy and human rights. Cathy Perez here, fellow female activist and your wellness coach. We are here in an extra, okay? And this is just a really quick primer on how to focus because there's so much going on. But Indivisible, as you see here, I'm on their website. If you're not already familiar, Indivisible is freaking awesome. And they are a wonderful organization that want us to win. Okay, they want democracy and human rights to win. So you probably have an Indivisible chapter in your state. Okay, so wherever you're watching this in the 50 states, you probably had an Indivisible chapter there. Check them out. Meanwhile, if you're feeling overwhelmed, okay, there's a lot going on. I will put in the description not only this, okay, what you see here, but also the previous extra that I also shared with regards to two important dates that this is talking about, March 14th, 2025, so next month, as well as April 1st, 2025. So please understand that this is directly related to that. So this is a wonderful article and it's a wonderful resource, really. That's why I wanted to share it. So if all you can do is focus on these three main, like, this is it. Like, don't worry about anything else. But this is what you're going to be calling even the red representatives, the red, the red Congress people, or I should say the red senators and House, right? But this is what we get to concentrate on. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like, okay, what, I just need to do something, focus on Indivisible's plan because it's so focused and very easy. So there's even a video. Okay, it's going to be shorter than this one probably, but this is fight number one. Okay, fight number one. We always, like, we know this, right? Okay, so you may know this, you may not, but this is a wonderful resource to send someone else who's a split ticketer, meaning that they split their ticket in the election for whatever reason. I can't understand beyond reason why, but we have to make sure that people understand whether they're on the side of democracy or not. They are all now understanding that this person was not elected. And so you can go to them and say, hey, are you upset about what is happening? Like, don't mention the Antichrist, but just say, look, this person, they're actually running the country right now. So this is what we're trying to stop, okay? March 14th and April 1st, this is what the next two fights are about. So now here's the cool thing. I'll backtrack real quick. They're upset with each other. Already, this idiot is getting pushback from the other idiots that are now the FBI director, the national security director, whoever else, right? All these agencies that are now in major turmoil, but they're all pushing back on this person. Why? Because he's not even an elected official. And now he's trying to tell them what to do. No, no, no. They're already pissed. So you can already see that there's so much infighting, but we need to understand that they're still pulling the mechanisms, right? So we got to push back as much as possible. So the fight number two that Indivisible is telling us, okay, to worry about. This is important. So this comes back to what my other extra was. Again, that's going to be down below. March 14th, okay, they didn't write that there, but March 14th is very important. That's when the government will shut down if there's not a new budget. So why is this happening so fast? Well, if you remember, just very quickly, we haven't had a budget for the last 2 years because no one can decide on the budget. So we've just had continuing resolutions. That can't keep happening if, in fact, April 1st happens, okay? Why? It can't, they have to have a budget by March 14th. Why? One, the government's going to shut down if that's the case. But guess what? That's what we want. That sounds horrible, but let me explain. So back to March 14th. If there is not a new budget, okay, in some way, shape, or form, that means the government will not be funded, which means, unfortunately, there's a shutdown. Now you're telling yourself, no, we can't afford more, federal workers not being able to get paid. I understand that. But the Democrats, this is why this is important. No Dem can vote for any of the proposed budgets coming up for vote. This is what GOP wants, I should say MAGA, there is no GOP anymore. The MAGA cult wants to use the shutdown as leverage. But guess what? We're going to reverse it and flip that. Why? Because fight number 3 is the most important. What they're trying to do is shut down the government unless the Dems vote for this new budget. Well, what is that new budget going to entail? All of these tax cuts. So remember, March 14th, the government can shut down. The federal government would stop, right, paying all its bills. Why? Because there's not a new budget intact. The MAGA wants to inflict as much harm as possible, but give the 1%ers a continued tax cut. Back in 2017, the first time the jackass took the White House, okay, that MAGA agenda basically gave tax cuts to Musk, to all the other billionaires, but totally, I want to say something, but I don't want to get blurted out or, shadow banned or whatever. Basically, April 1st is when the 2017 tax cuts for billionaires, mind you, goes away. They need to have that budget so that they can continue the stupid tax cuts for billionaires. Meanwhile, getting rid of all of the social benefits that us as US citizens deserve and have earned, by the way. Okay. So these are 3 major fights that you can focus on. I'm going to put in the links below, again, this particular resource, as well as AOC's original take on all this, because it was back on February 3rd that she laid it out. Okay. I'll put that, as well as, again, the previous extra that I did concerning those 2 dates. You want to understand that they are afraid of us. We are the masses. So we get to call the Republicans in your state, okay? Now, I'm lucky, right? Both the senators in Arizona as well as the reps that represent me are on my side. Well, guess what? Now I'm going to have to call idiots like Biggs and Schwenker and all these other, I want to say something, I'm not going to. I'll just put it this way. It was VP Harris's favorite curse word. Anyway, I get to call these people because they are the problem. Okay. So we need to obviously make sure that the Democrats are fighting, but they are all on the same line. They understand that if there is a shutdown, it is not going to be on them. Okay. The Dems are standing tall and they're not going to vote away for us not to have a budget that basically does not help the middle class and those in the marginalized communities. If it means that the government shuts down, one, it's going to be on the Republicans or the MAGA cult because they can't govern themselves. And 2, we don't want any Democrat to think that it's okay to play with the other side unless we get in return the compromise that none of these social benefits are going away, that Musk is freaking sent back to hopefully South Africa, but more importantly, just taken out of every single possible government relation he has because he shouldn't be there in the first place. So we need to make sure that we're calling on everyone to stick to these talking points, right? The coup is happening, okay? But we can stop it. We must stick together and we must be willing to take action when we know we can, okay? So it's coming, people. Like, we are uprising, but we need to be strategic. We want to save energy where we can and then use our resources as well, okay, as strategically as possible. So I just wanted to, again, bring this to you. It's a wonderful resource. Concentrate on even just one of these. They're all related. But if you can only focus on one thing at a time, then do that. But make sure that you're putting yourself first. Okay, self-care matters. All right. That's why I'm always coming to you, giving you information, but always coming to you with the perspective. No, your self-care comes first and then you fight. Okay. I want you to understand that we can. So as long as we know that they are scared, right? I can assure you right now that if Musk comes close to getting put in jail, yeah, his buddy in the White House could possibly pardon him. But let's just understand, he doesn't want to get that far in the first place. So he very well could be kicked out, before the month's end because so many people are pissed off right now with Musk. So we got to just stick to those 3 points. We got 3 fights. Just think of it that way and focus on which ones, that you can really just hone in on. And I assure you, it's going to make a difference. Okay. So we'll see you soon. Take care. Take charge. God bless.